Here I am with Soup. Gonna do a little session here. Everybody else got to go into the round pen to screw around and play, so it was a good test for Soup to see if he could keep his attention on me while they were roughhousing. I start out with a little bit of groundwork, asking him to trot out on the circle, lunging. His lunging has really come along. He doesn't try to face me up the entire time he's going around the circle now, and he travels out a lot better. The other horses are just having a whale of a time over there playing. Soup is pretty focused on me. He doesn't act like he wants to be with the other horses. He has that nice big long trot. Just cruises right around. But he's willing to transition down pretty easily. Comes down to a walk. He's not weird about going through the brush. Roll the hinds, step the fronts across, and go the other direction. Ask him to trot. Cruise around the other way a little bit. This guy has gained a lot in the time that I've had him. He was kind of scrawny when I first got him, and he's filled out quite a bit. He actually is starting to look like a horse now. And he's starting to come out of his shell a little bit more. Thinking about getting a little bit friendlier, actually wanting to be around me a little instead of just hiding behind the other horses. He just needed a little time to let down and relax. And he's coming along. He's still kind of an interesting fellow. Reacts to some things a little more than he needs to. But he is absolutely making progress. Nice disengage there. And I praise him. I'm tying up my reins right here. This ended up being ride 8 for Soup. At this point, I have a few rides on him with a saddle, but honestly, most of my rides with him have been bareback. I really like riding colts bareback, just so they are exposed to it, and it helps me show them how to move themselves with a little more accuracy than having a saddle. Plus, it kind of makes you trust the horse. If I didn't trust the horse enough to get on him bareback, I probably needed to do more groundwork. Kind of playing with him there and asking him to step hinds and fronts. He's very willing. He knows what I'm looking for. It's all stuff that he's practiced. And then I praise him. Now, this is only, honestly, the second or third time that I've asked him to pick up his feet. The last time I asked him to pick his feet up was when I trimmed him last, which was maybe a month prior to this video. Just want to show that he can still do it. He's also getting better about me walking behind him. He was pretty nervous about having someone walk behind him when I first got him, and just felt like he needed to move. But he's figuring out that that's okay. He's pretty good with his feet here. He doesn't give me any trouble. He's naturally kind of a nervous horse, just worried about stuff. And not necessarily outside stuff like terrain or anything like that. He's more worried about the human. but he's really come a long way in being able to trust me, and he tries really hard. He knows I'm asking him to pick me up right there. That's something that we've worked on quite a bit. He's trying really hard to get into the correct position there. It's kind of a hill from all the sand pushed up on the outside of my round pen, so it's not an easy place to get to. What a good boy. Go ahead and step on him there. Of course, all the other horses are going to be a factor with their playfulness. So I was really interested to see how well Soup would ride with that added energy. Soup is really freed up now, bareback anyway, and really wants to move out. He's got a nice walk. He always wants to be very, very soft in the halter. He's probably one of the most, if not the most, flexible horse that I've had my hands on. Nice lick and chew right there. He's happy to change directions and walk each circle. I like how freed up he is here. I'm not having to ask him to go consistently or paddle him in any way. He just wants to move out. But he's not being silly about it. There, I'm looking for a trot. The other horses are going to be playful. But Soup stays with me. This is the first time that I had ridden him out in my pasture in a larger area. He'd been ridden in my round pen and dry lot, but this was the first for out here. And I just have the drone poised up over a corner for this video. A few steps of a back there. Wait for him to get soft and freed up at the same time, and then praise. Go to ask him to walk off here. I ask for a few steps of a trot and then shut him down just to make sure that I can. I'm looking for him to come off my leg and my rein and be soft. He wants to pack his head pretty nicely. Right there he feels really good, so I ask him to trot. The other horses get really excited right there, and Soup stays with me. But I go ahead and look for his hip anyway, just to make sure that I still can. Then ask him to back up. I want him to be freed up in his feet and soft in my hands at the same time. And when he gets there, we stop and praise. My drone remote is sitting on that blue barrel over there, and it had fallen off. And my drone took off across the pasture, so I had to fix that. So go get back on Soup. He's still a little bit worried when I first climb up the fence right there, like he doesn't know what to do, but he's very easy to redirect and knows where he needs to be. He picks me up very efficiently. I ask him to step a front right there, but he whips his hind around instead. That's still something that he's working on. It's a lot easier for him to disengage than it is to step fronts. So right here I set him up on a right circle and eventually tighten my circle up enough where I'm looking for him to step that right front. He wants to move forward or step his hinds. But eventually, right there, he gives me the step that I'm looking for, so I praise him. It's something that we've been messing with, Bareback, and he's starting to get a handle on it, but it's not perfect yet. So I do the same thing to the left. He wants to get a little bit worried there with the other horses messing around, so I bring him around and disengage him. He needs to stay with me. Kind of wants to trot. I bump him around and disengage again. Back him up. Looking for that left front now. He kind of acted like he needed to back up right there, and I wasn't asking, so I reinforced that he needs to move forward when I ask. And we go right back over to the area I had him in and continue working on what I had been working on. Which is stepping that left front. So we're on a left circle here. I tighten the circle down. Looking for him to come across to the left and step that left front out and back at a 45-degree angle. And that step right there that I'm praising him for was a try. I'm going to reward little tries there because it's something that he's still having trouble with. I asked him to step that right front, and he did perfectly the first try, so that's where we quit. I was pretty happy with this. Not a very long ride, but he ended in a nice place. Thank you for watching.